Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the G-Shock Watcher. My name is Matthew Hardman and I'm here to talk about G-Shock watches and the news. If this is the first time to your channel and you like the video, please consider like and subscribing. I do really appreciate the support because it helps go and earn money and helps me buy more G-Shock watches, which would be really cool to be able to show them off to you as well. Today's watch is a G-Shock King. I do love the G-Shock King. It's a very big and bold sort of watch. Positive display, khaki band, a little bit challenging on my particular wrist. My wrist might be a little bit smaller, so the band comes up a long way, but it is a nice watch, very, very legible from that point of view. The G-Shock King, I think it's fantastic. Now, as we talk through the news today, we might hear jets flying overhead. It is getting close to National Day here in Singapore, and they're doing their rehearsals this time of the day. So if you suddenly hear the overhead of jets, not to worry, everything is fine. It's just rehearsal, and I hope it doesn't impact the quality of the video so much. So let's get started. What I wanted to do today was to spend some time talking about some of the stories that came out of July in the G-Shock space. We're going to look at some new watches that are coming out. We've got some rumored watches. We have some reissues of watches as well. And I'm also going to talk about one particular watch I purchased recently, which I'm going to suggest you do not buy because this particular watch really was a little bit of a disappointment. Maybe that's my problem, but I expected a little bit more. So with that, 5 stories I want to talk about today. Let's get started with the first one, which is this particular watch, the new Love the Sea and Earth collaboration watch for 2025. And there's 2 watches here that are coming to market. There is a G-Shock and a Baby G. Now, the Baby G doesn't necessarily worry me too much, but it's a nice watch all the same. What I'm interested in is the actual G-Shock. And this is a really nice Love the Sea and Earth watch. It is if we go down here, it's a GW 6905K-7A, and it's featuring the humpback whale on the actual watch. Now, I do love collecting these particular watches. I love the Sea and Earth watches. I actually have 2 of them. There is this one here, which I've talked about many times on my channel here. This is the Mudman. Really nice sort of colored watch. It's that green, the yellow, the oranges on the actual watch with a big, big positive display. It even has a dual LCD screen, so if you can sort of see here, when I switch this around to compass, we can actually see the compass overlaid on the actual watch itself, which is really cool to actually see dual layer LCD technology, so you can get all that information on top. And on the back, of course, I love that particular inscription there for Love the Sea and Earth. Unfortunately, the lights make it really tough to go ahead and actually show, but a really nice watch, very comfortable to be able to go ahead and actually wear. The other watch I have is this one, which is a G-Steel. And this is a G-Steel Love the Sea and Earth, a fairly bold one with the python on the front and Love the Sea and Earth on the back, if we can get that right. But a very, very cool watch all the same as well. So I do like the Love the Sea and Earth watches. But this one's really nice. This is a more of a resin-based one. We've got the what do we call them? I guess the complications on the front there, so we can see the features. But a nice positive display, the light on the bottom with the actual whale on there, the whale on the resin band itself. If we go down, there's a nice overlay we can see here. So the inscriptions on the back for 2025, which is really cool. And then in the loom or the light behind it, we can actually see the humpback whale on the actual watch itself. So this is a really nice looking watch. I mean, from a Love the Sea and Earth point of view, they've got really nice coloring, right? If we go look at it from that coloring point of view, going back to it, the blue and the white is definitely a nice sort of ocean type look and feel about it. If we jump over to shock base, we can actually see the features: tough solar, multi-band 6, time zones, and a price of 28,050 yen. So very, very cool watch, something to look forward to. And I should make sure I do a shout out to G Central and Shockbase. Thank you so much for doing all this great research for the actual watches. It's a great way to be able to summarize what's going on in the G-Shock world. So Love the Sea and Earth, great watch to go ahead and actually check out. Now, the second story is talking about the GBM 2100As, and these watches came out, I think it was last year or at least 2023. I have to go ahead and actually check. Actually, I can go ahead and actually check. I've got Shockbase running, of course. So the originals came out, last year, 2024, the GBM 2100-A. And what we have are new colors coming out. So previously we had the colors which were the Tiffany blue one, and I don't know if that's an officially Tiffany blue and the green. Those were the initial ones that came out, but then there were some special ones which came out as well. So there's black and white one, which was kind of cute. And then there was also this basketball edition one. But the main colors were the black, the blue, and the green ones. But since then, they've also gone ahead and actually released these newer ones that are coming out, which is this sort of darker blue, a dark purple, and a white one. And I actually like them. I mean, these watches look very, very cool. In fact, I was speaking to somebody once before, and this was somebody who buys fairly expensive watches. They were telling me they saw these particular G-Shocks, the green one that they'd seen, and they said they really liked that watch. They thought it looked really, really good. So it's nice to see that, G-Shock is playing around, well, not playing, but at least trying to experiment with the different color schemes in this particular brand. And this sort of lines up with some of the work that they're doing to enhance the more premium watches in their market. The blue one's really nice with the positive, not too over the top. I do really love this purple one though. My only concern is the black inverted display. I've had a few of the GAB 2100s in my time, and I always struggle to be able to read the inverted display on these particular watches. I'd rather a positive one. But this particular purple, it's a very bold sort of color direction, but I do like it. So that combination of steel and resin, let's just check out. It is steel and resin. Let's just check. Metal as the bezel, so the face, and then resin for the actual band itself. So feature-wise, Bluetooth, tough solar, lots of time zones. Very cool watch. I mean, it's not something that you would snigger at wearing on your actual wrist from that point of view. Pricing we're looking at here, potentially around about $250 US, which probably lines up with the pricing we saw previously. Let's have a look here. So, 37,400 yen. I think they had the same price as well, 37,400 yen. So that's a cool work. I mean, well done, Casio and G-Shock, for going ahead and taking a model which did look very, very good and putting in some innovative colors there as well. So definitely something to go and check out. Now, the third story I wanted to go talk about was the black and gold G-Shock. This is a GD010GB. Now, I have some of these watches which sort of bring that into play, right? So I'm going to talk a lot about this watch today. This is the black and gold GMC or GMC? I think I'm on GMC. The black and gold 50th anniversary watch, which is a nice sort of color combinations of the black and the gold in the actual watch itself. If I can get that into focus. So very, very nice, very stylish, all analog watch. Now, what we've got here in this particular watch is this GD. Now, I also own a GD watch. Here come the jets again. I own a GD watch as well, and it's this particular one. Now, as I sort of say, I don't necessarily like the inverted displays, but this inverted display is fairly clear to be able to go ahead and actually read, apart from my fingerprints on the actual watch itself. Maybe I can look at that a little bit better. But it's a fairly clear inverted display to be able to go ahead and actually read from that point of view. But what was intriguing was the band itself. It's not a resin band, but it's more of a material band. So what we're kind of seeing here is a combination of the black and gold in this particular style and sort of morphing them together from that point of view, probably to make that feel a little bit more premium. So we've got here this GD01GB, black and gold with large LCD display and 10-year battery. So this is the one I actually have. You know, the features we actually have, it's got a backlight, but nothing really more than that. But it's a pretty solid watch, and I think this particular watch itself looks kind of nice to be able to go ahead and actually wear. So it's a resin band, I'm guessing. It's a little bit more expensive, I think, here. So let's have a look. It's a price of 15,950 yen. The pricing here was 17,000 yen. Maybe that's because this one had the band. If we go and find something a bit more standard, like this one here, okay, 14,815 yen. And they're sort of saying here, yep, a little bit slightly higher than the price of before. So very interesting watch to actually see the black and gold with the resin band. Nice clear watch to be able to go and actually wear from that point of view. So yeah, if you're looking for something to knock around, looks cool, this is a very cool watch as well to check out. All right, now the fourth story to talk about here today is about a new MRG that is coming onto the market. And I'm just trying to get back to the G Central site. They do such incredible work here. But we've got the MRG B5000HT-1. And what we see here from this particular watch is this hammered display on the actual MRG. There's only 500 of these watches available in the marketplace. And for some reasons, it's struggling to actually show me the information on the G Central website here. Oh, there we go. So this is the watch here. It's the G-Shock MRG B5000HT-1. Now, I really do love the MRG watches. I finally own an MRG watch. To get two MRG watches is probably getting into a lot of trouble. So we're not going to be chasing after this particular one, but it is nice to go and look at. And so it's a digital square, a negative display, but gee, does it look good. This very, very dark metal with the hammering on the actual watch itself. We've got the kind of bronzy rose gold highlights for it itself. If we go down, the MRG just really looks nice and bold there. If we go down, we can see the back here. It's a very, very nice looking watch. Now, the price is also very, very nice looking as well. It's about $6,400. So if you were in the market for a digital square that was a premium digital square, this would definitely be the one to go for. I mean, it does sometimes feel like the premium watches should be analog watches, but some of these premium watches as well are those MRG watches, and they're not short on the features. I mean, the closest one I could find was this one, the MRG B5000. This one was only 495,000 yen. This one is much, much more expensive at, if I can go down to the price, 935,000 yen. So it's, you know, almost double of the particular watch itself, but it has all the features: Bluetooth, touch solar, multiband 6, all the time zones. Really, really nice top end watch. And really, these are only made in Japan, so they're the highest end watches. So if you're really in the market for a digital square, this is probably a very cool one to go for as well, if you have the money. So, moving on from super expensive watches, let's go jump into a watch which I think actually looks pretty good. And we're sort of taking some of the not so super premium watches, but sort of higher end watches, and changing out some of the features to see how people actually react to them. This one is the GMC B2100, and I know now that this is the GMC watch as well. And this is the GMC watch that I have with a full metal band. It's got the one gold link in there, but this was the GMC release. And what they're doing here now is to do a GMC with a silicon band. So a brushed gunmetal tough silicon band. I don't think we've seen too many tough silicon bands before in G-Shocks. There's obviously some of them that have them. You can see here that they were introduced in 2025. But this one has a sort of a very brushed gunmetal look, which is very subtle from that point of view. And so if you're looking for a watch that really was like this one, that all analog sort of display, which I think is incredibly stylish. I like the way they've sort of done the design in this one. If you wanted that but wanted it with more of a silicon band, which is a little bit softer to wear, this might be a really good option. In fact, it's potentially, let's have a look at the prices here. If I go to one of the ones before with the metal, it was 104,500 yen. These are going for around about 99,000 yen. So it's a little bit cheaper than the actual all metal options, right? So it could be something to go ahead and actually look at from that point of view. So this GMC B2100Y-1A with the tough silicon band could be a really nice option for you to go ahead and actually check out if you wanted something to fit nicely on your wrist and still look very, very good. I think it's a great looking watch. It's very formal. You can get away with this look in the corporate workspace. You could have running on the weekend. Great watch to be able to go ahead and actually wear. So if you're tough silicon, this is one to check out from that angle. Now, the last one I want to talk about is this particular watch. This is a rumored watch coming out, but I think it looks really, really good. Now, this is a G-Steel watch. Now, I was never necessarily a super big fan of G-Steels. I mean, I do own a G-Steel, and that's my wildlife love to see an Earth watch. But I don't necessarily wear it as much. I just kind of feel like it's a little bit overcomplicated in the design and look and feel of the watch. But it's not a bad watch. But looking at this particular G-Steel, this really changes the minds and the looks of what the future of G-Shock is starting to look like. I mean, if we were to look at the standard G-Steels, this is kind of what they look like, right? It's a fairly complicated watch. I mean, sure, some of the aspects of it are a little bit similar. You've got a 24-hour there. You've got a kind of 24-hour. I guess it's a different time. You've got some of the feature dials here. But just looking at the simplification of the G-Steel watch, it's looking really nice. In fact, I don't think it sort of looks like this. What I think we're seeing is this G-Steel taking influence from our GMC watches or even our MRG watches. In fact, these two watches, when you look at them side by side, it looks very, very similar between them. The design language is very, very similar. It's a very pretty looking watch. Now, we don't have much details about it. It's a leaked image of these watches, and they come in multiple colors. If I sort of come down here and have a look, we've got the green, the blue, and the black, and all three do look like very, very nice watches. They say they're announced, but I haven't actually seen them on any of the websites as of yet. But definitely cool watches to go ahead and actually look from that point of view. This is definitely a watch you could wear in a formal setting, and people would be like, wow, that's a really nice watch. And you could say it's a G-Shock watch, and that's very, very cool. So definitely a watch to keep your eye out for from that point of view. Now, the last thing before I wrap up, I just want to talk about a G-Shock purchase. Well, not G-Shock, but a Casio purchase I made recently. I was spreading out into different ranges, and I was thinking about an Edifice watch. And one of the things I thought about was going back to this particular watch, the 50th anniversary watch, and potentially trying to see if I could complete the collection. Now, when this watch came out, there were a few different versions that were available. I'm going to show you what they look like here. So we've got the Casio G-Shock. I think it's a is it Casio or Casio G-Shock? It might be a Casio. We've got a Casio Digital Square here. We've got the G-Shock one, which I own, the Casiotron, the Edifice, and the Pro-Trek. Actually, I really like the Pro-Trek. The Pro-Trek is one I'd like to go ahead and hunt down. I've been checking it out on Buy-E, but very, very hard to go ahead and actually get. And they're not cheap either. But I happened to see the Edifice watch on sale at the Great Singapore Sale on the Casio website. So I went out and purchased it. And I'm just going to say it bluntly, I don't like it. I think it feels very sort of cheap. I mean, it does have sort of the carbon core guard, I guess, and some of those features. It's got the carbon core guard symbol on the back, but this watch feels a lot smaller than what I'm used to from a G-Shock. This is the Edifice 50th anniversary. You can see the band, or the clasp there, 50th anniversary. It's sort of the black and gold on there, but it has this material bracelet band. It just kind of feels a little bit cheap. And then you sort of got buttons on the side, but they don't do anything. They could have just taken those off. You've got some buttons on here, I guess, to do the chronograph on here. But again, it just doesn't feel like a really nice watch, which is disappointing. And I would sort of suggest you stay away from this particular Edifice. I haven't tried many Edifices. I don't know if this is the standard of Edifice, but I'm not necessarily impressed. It feels like a plasticky sort of bezel on the actual watch itself. Yeah, bit of a shame, this one. So steer clear of the black and gold 50th anniversary Edifice if you don't want to get bought into it. Maybe what I need to do is to be a bit more kinder. check out some of the other Edifice watches and see that they're the same. But I thought the Edifice watches were a little bit bigger and a bit more racier. This one doesn't feel necessarily like that. So maybe it's a learning opportunity for me to check them out as well. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's the G-Shock news for July. Some very, very cool watches. So some watches coming out, some unannounced watches, some buying recommendations. I think some of those watches, like the Love to See an Earth watch, is a very, very cool one. That G-Steel at the end looks absolutely fantastic. That's one I'm definitely going to be hunting down when it actually comes out as well. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, please, as always, thank you so much for your support and for sharing your time with me today. Please like and subscribe, and please enjoy your watches, whatever brand they actually are. If they're G-Shocks, fantastic. Thank you so much. Have a great day.